Viral singer Benson Boone talks about why he left the Mormon church, and his comments are really interesting. What's up, guys? I'm Father David Michael Moses. I'm a Catholic priest. If you enjoy this kind of stuff, make sure that you subscribe. So I want to address Mormonism first. We'll talk about that. And then I want to look at his comments specifically about why he left the church. Benson Boone, if you're not familiar with him, he was actually on, I just heard this recently, he's actually on American Idol for a while, and he left on his own because he decided he wanted to kind of make a name for himself on his own and not just be a product of the TV show. Kind of interesting. And he did it very, very well. Some of his songs have gone just mega viral on TikTok and things like that. And they're very, very catchy. So not endorsing him or his music at all, but that's just to give you kind of a framework right there. So let's first look at Mormonism. I pulled up some thoughts on this from Trent Horn. You've probably seen his stuff on YouTube. This guy is absolutely awesome. And he talks about how just because somebody says that they're a Christian, that doesn't make them a Christian, because a Christian really needs to be validly baptized and believe in the God of Christianity. The Catholic Church looks at Mormon baptisms as being invalid because even though they mention the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, their understanding of the Trinity is very different than our understanding of the Trinity. When it comes to Jesus, we believe that he was fully human and fully divine, and he has always been divine, given that he's the second person of the Trinity, the Son. Mormons, however, believe that Jesus Christ was once an intelligence, such as us, who existed from eternity. So he was not always divine. He was not always the Son of God. Instead, God chose him to become the firstborn among the intelligences by giving him this first spirit body. So in the early 20th century, the Mormon church's leadership actually released a statement saying that the Father of Jesus is our Father also. Jesus, however, is the firstborn among all the sons of God, the first begotten in the Spirit, and the only begotten in the flesh. He is kind of like our older brother, and we, like him, are in the image of God. So instead of Jesus being totally different in kind from us, he's kind of more an older brother for us. He's just kind of like a more exalted spirit child of God, which reduces him to being just highly praised. So pretty different in understanding of who Jesus was in Mormonism. So I can't help but wonder if Benson has actually encountered true Christianity or not. But let's take a look at his comments. He was interviewed about his faith, and he said, growing up, a lot of people at the church talked about these experiences and how they had personal revelations and feelings and voices. And he said, I never felt it as physically present as they did. So I was always confused and frustrated. But he said he was always scared about bringing this up to people, to say that he wasn't feeling what they were feeling. He told some of his friends, and his friends said, oh, thank goodness, I feel exactly the same way. So again, we're not really dealing with true Christianity here. So actually makes sense to me that a lot of the feelings wouldn't be present. But just to address here, one of the things I love about the Catholic Church is our teaching really isn't about feelings. Because feelings come and go, feelings change. It's about truth. There are a lot of churches nowadays, non-Catholic churches, that seem to try to invoke a lot of feelings. They try to have certain music and certain lightings and certain kind of emotional situations that would pull you into a feeling of God being present. And I think that isn't all like evil, but I think it can be very, very dangerous. Because if you start to associate God with a feeling, then whenever your feelings, which again go up and down, aren't there, then you assume God has abandoned you. Which the whole point of the Christian faith is that God is there no matter your feelings. What I love about the Catholic Church is that when you come to Mass, some days you feel it, some days you don't. Guess what? On the days when you're really feeling it, guess what you get? Jesus in the Eucharist. God shows up. And the days you walk into Mass and you're really not feeling it, guess what you get? Jesus in the Eucharist. God still shows up. What's so cool about the Eucharist in the Catholic Church is whether you're feeling it or not, God still shows up. That Jesus, his presence is consistent. Like he is faithful. You can count on Jesus showing up at every Mass because he promised. That when you're there and a Catholic priest takes bread and wine and says, this is my body, this is my blood, he's there. You know, in marriage, sometimes you feel it in marriage, sometimes you don't. What's beautiful is the person has made a promise to love you no matter what. And in your relationship with God, what's great is when you're feeling it or not feeling it, he's made a promise to love you no matter what. it goes beyond feelings. Yes, God can often use feelings. I'm not opposed to feelings being oriented toward a healthy relationship with God. But at the end of the day, it's not about the feelings and it can't be dependent on the feelings. Back to what he says, I don't really want to be part of one religion. I have my own opinions. Some are from this religion, some are from that religion, some are from no religion, he explained. We do believe as Catholic Church that we have the fullness of the truth, but we don't believe we have a monopoly on truth. Like I was saying earlier, a lot of non-Catholic Christians, they believe a lot of true things that we would believe. Jesus is the Son of God. Our salvation comes through the death of Jesus Christ. Absolutely, we agree on those things. There's a lot of non-Catholic religions that have parts of the truth, right? That we can find common ground on. But at the end of the day, we need to be looking for who has the fullness of the truth. And again, nothing against Benson Boone at all. It sounds like he really is searching, so I want to encourage that. But we can sometimes fall into picking from different religions what we like. And the danger there is that we just create our own religion that is just us. That we're alone. It's not a religion based around a community of people who believe the same thing. It's a religion of just me. And do we really believe that God, if he had any kind of plan for union with us, would only give that perfect religion to one single person? And that maybe it's just Benson Boone or just me or just someone else? Don't you think he would have started something that called a few more people into it, that was open to all people to receive it? He goes on to say this: my parents definitely have their own views. I assume they're still in the Mormon church. But when it comes to religion and God, they want me to figure it out on my own. And whatever I come to and whatever I feel is right, that's what they want for me. Whatever I feel is right. Again, he's totally searching, so nothing against him here. The point of religion is that God has revealed something to us, something we couldn't have found on our own. God reveals something to us. It's a way of life that is best for humanity. It's a way of relationship with him. The problem with doing whatever I feel is right is it makes religion something I create that works for me. I become the ultimate authority. Is religion supposed to be something God reveals to us? Or religion supposed to be something I build for myself? Because at the end of the day, if you built the religion yourself for what works for you, then who's the God there? Is God outside of you? Or are you God? Have you become the great judge of what is true and what is not? Because that is a lonely place to be, when you're determining on every single issue your own truth. Kind of interesting. I'll close out with this. Mormons actually are against drinking like coffee. And he said he's tried it a few times, but he still doesn't really like how it tastes. He also does say he avoids things like drugs, alcohol, that part of the religion seems to have carried over. Huge fan of making sure we're being temperate with alcohol usage and that we're avoiding drug usage. And even with caffeine, I think we want to be careful with that we don't become too addicted to those things. So those are my thoughts. What do you guys think? I appreciate that Benson's searching on this stuff. Hopefully he'll find the fullness of truth. And let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you want to check another video, you can look at this one here. And we'll see you guys next time. God bless.